On everyone. So the Memphis Grizzlies have just waived center Bismack Biyombo. So per Woj, source tells ESPN, he made a good impact with the franchise and could be brought back again. Memphis is expected to add another big on a newly available two-way contract. So obviously the Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant is out for the season, so their season is basically done. So at this point, they're just trying to experiment and try to find guys for very likely the foreseeable future. Right, Bismack, he's great. He was solid for them in a limited role. But if you're not trying to contend and you're not trying to win, right, release him, let him go to a team that maybe could utilize him better and could put him in a position to maybe have success on another maybe contending team or a playoff team, something along those lines, right? Memphis is just going different direction. Start bringing in some young guys, maybe sell off some guys and try to mold this team more for next season and beyond. Bismack Biyombo, so far for the Memphis Grizzlies, played in 30 games, started in 27 of them. Averaged about 24 minutes per game. He shot 56.3% from the field. He's not a guy that's going to spread the floor by any means necessary. But again, 56% on two-point attempts. Free throw line is a big issue, big concern. He doesn't take a lot of foul attempts, but he is a career 55%, and this season he is shooting 48% from the foul line. But the big allure of Bismack Biyombo is his rebounding as well as his shot blocking, being a rim deterrent, right? And this season for the Memphis Grizzlies, he was averaging 5 points, 6.4 rebounds, 1.7 assists, half a steal, and 1.1 blocks per game. So again, he's a guy that can be a shot blocker, be a help and blindside defender. He is a bit undersized for a center, right? He's a guy that's 6'8", 6'9", but he has a 7'6" wingspan, and he has the athleticism to kind of get up there and block shots and be a deterrent. He's still only 31 years old, so there's plenty of room for him if he finds the right spot to stick around long term. And I think, why not bring him in on even just like a 10-day contract? Now, obviously, Jackson Hayes just hasn't worked out for the Lakers. When we signed Jackson Hayes, one of the things that I talked about was that I didn't believe Jackson Hayes should be that guy, right? Like, to me, it was like, okay, who else are we going to get, right? Jackson Hayes is basically like your development big man, your project big. I thought made a lot of sense. Like, basically your third line, that regard, right? AD gets a night off. He's, filling in for 15 minutes a game. Outside of that, he's only playing, like 8 to 12 minutes a game here and there in little spots. Just be a high energy guy, be a lob threat. He's very young. He has a lot of growing to do, right? He's not very disciplined on the defensive side. But look, I still like Jackson Hayes as like a long-term, again, development big. Somebody that you're keeping around, you're building and growing within the organization. And then maybe, 2 years from now, something like that, he can step into the primary backup role. Or, if he takes some real steps, maybe he could step into that starting role like post LeBron, right? Imagine if you had him and he did end up getting the discipline to be a shot blocker and defensive big. He's excellent in the pick and roll as a big man, like defending the pick and roll, and then just having him as a high energy if he can, grab more boards. And again, it's just discipline for Jackson Hayes. But the Lakers aren't a young rebuilding team. They're a team that needs to win now, right? And they're a team that needs to get Anthony Davis help. I mean, Anthony Davis is playing like 40 minutes a game because we don't really have another center. Christian Wood has been fantastic, and Christian Wood needs to continue to play, right? But he's more of a 4 than he is a 5, right? He's not really a rim deterrent, right? He can block shots. He's good as a blindside help defender. He's good if you funnel the defender to him, right? We've seen him just make excellent defensive plays. He can also switch out on the perimeter pretty well because he's got good length, good size. He knows how to kind of keep his distance and then close out with his length. So I absolutely love Christian Wood, and I do think he needs to continue to be a big fixture in that overall just offense and role. But it would be nice to get somebody that even could just come in and play 10 minutes and just give AD a breather, right? So if you could cut AD's minutes down even like 5 minutes a game, right, to just preserve him and just, luckily AD has been healthy and he's been great. He's been able to play these extended minutes, but that doesn't mean that I want him having to do that the entirety of the season. Now, look, maybe the Lakers end up making a trade, right? If they make a Bulls trade, maybe they get like an Andre Drummond, or maybe they go look to, if they do the Hawks trade, maybe they can get a Clint Capella with a DeJounte Murray, or maybe they just go and trade for like a Valanciunas or something like that, right? It's very possible that the Lakers could find somebody else. But in the meantime, I don't hate the idea of getting a guy that can come in, kind of get a feel for, kind of see like how does he look, right? And is he somebody that can make a fit? Because what if Bismack Biyombo really is the answer for the Lakers, right? Give him a 10-day, see how he looks, right? Give him a few minutes, give him an opportunity, and just see how does he perform. What if he does help? Give him a few minutes alongside Anthony Davis. Give him a few minutes when AD's off the bench. Let him play 10 minutes for, like 3 games or whatever, and then kind of gauge it. And then if you need to, give him a second 10-day. That should bring us to the point where we're trading or whatever. And now you can kind of, maybe you don't need Bismack Biyombo, right? So maybe you don't need to throw in that extra piece to go get an Andre Drummond. Or maybe you don't have to give up other assets to go get, a Clint Capella or a Valanciunas or something, right? Because again, the Lakers don't necessarily need some premier center. Right? Because Anthony Davis is going to play center. On top of Anthony Davis playing center, he's going to play center pretty much, 36 minutes a game, if not more, during the playoffs especially. Right? It's just the regular season. You need to kind of just weather that storm. And with LeBron, and at this stage of LeBron's career, LeBron has to play the 4. Right? Can he play in spots in other positions? Sure. But for 36 minutes a game, if you put him at the 3, you're going to wear him down before, 10 games into it. So you need somebody that understands like, hey, I'm coming in to play a role. There may be some nights where I do get a DNP. And there may be some nights where I do play 30 minutes. And there may be some nights where I only play 10. But you need somebody that can come in, be a professional, be a veteran, be a good presence, bring good vibes to the team that's not going to disrupt what you got going on. Somebody that can fill a role in a need, which Biz can do. He can rebound. He can defend, right? He can be a lob threat, right? He's not really a great offensive weapon, but he is a guy that you never question his hustle, never question his grit, right? He's got, good size for being somebody that's 6'8". He's got a good wingspan. He does the dirty work. He does the little things. Like, there's nothing wrong with bringing in a guy like that and just seeing how it goes. So I genuinely like the idea of bringing in Biz, letting him get some run, just kind of getting a nice little feel for him, right? Because you're not asking him to play a huge, prominent role. You're not asking him to come in and be, hey, dude, we need you to play 30 minutes a game and be our starting center and whatnot. No, you're asking for him to just come in, hey, are you willing to buy in, accept the role, whatever? If the answer is yes, then great, right? Are you willing to hey, some nights you might not play, some nights you will play, some nights you may get the start because AD's out, right? Are you going to be a good presence in the locker room? Are you going to do and be ready at any moment, any glance? If the answer is yes, then bring him in, right? I like the idea, and I've talked about this before, I like the idea of a veteran center. Now, would I like a bigger body? I would still probably prefer like an Andre Drummond or something like that over Bismack Biyombo. But again, it comes down to like, what is the cost, right? Because Andre Drummond has been fantastic for Chicago this year, right? So does Chicago want a bunch of stuff for Andre Drummond, even though he's like on a vet minimum contract? They look at it and go, well, we want a first if we're trading Drummond because we want to keep him long term. It just depends, right? Depends on what the ask is for a guy like that, right? Or even just to have Biz on the bench just in case in a pinch, right? Again, I don't think there's anything. I wouldn't sign him right away to a contract. Like, I wouldn't immediately go bring him in and sign him to a long-term deal. But I would bring him in on a 10-day, get a good feel for him. That way you at least have control over him for at least the next, 10 to max 20 days, right? So that basically gets you through the trade deadline. So you at least have control over him. You can at least decide what you want to do from there. If you make a trade for a center, then you just let Biz go, right? if you don't make a trade for a center and you go get other pieces, right, then you could keep Biz. Or you could, or like, let's say somebody else becomes available at the buyout market, right? And somebody gets waived or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, this guy makes more sense. Well, then it's like, hey, Biz, thank you so much. Appreciate you for the 10 days. We're going to go this direction. And you lose nothing out of it. To me, it's a low risk, high reward type move, right? Because if Biz can come in and solve some of the... Look, he's not the answer for everything, right? Like, he's not a guy that, is going to come in and just completely change the tides for the Lakers. But he is a guy that, again, can help on the boards, can help on the glass, a guy that can be a shot blocker. The biggest problem that the Lakers have is when Anthony Davis goes out for a game, or, if he goes out or he just misses a game entirely, the Lakers have no deterrent at the rim. They have nobody that can consistently just prevent you from just a layup line. That's been a big problem. Jackson Hayes isn't that guy. Jackson Hayes isn't that answer. So, personally, I think the Lakers need to get somebody that can start in a pinch and at least be somewhat of a deterrent at the basket and just make things difficult, right? And then on top of that, if he can go and just grab some boards, that'd be great. I mean, again, Biz averages 6.4 rebounds per game. He's averaging 2 offensive boards per game and basically a limited role, right? With the Memphis Grizzlies this past year. But you look at like even the previous years, like one thing he's very consistent at is just the rebounding department. Right? Like, he can grab boards. He averages basically 2 offensive boards a game. Lakers could use that desperately. Right? Somebody that could just go grab rebounds. He could play alongside AD, because especially this season with AD shot falling. So you could run sets where you have Biz and AD in the front court, 2 shot blockers, 2 rim deterrents. Right? Good luck trying to score inside that. Got a guy that's a little more disciplined, has a better understanding. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Biz can at times be very disciplined. Or very undisciplined, right? He can get in foul trouble pretty quickly because, he's trying to play and hustle. But he still gives you, he's a better option than what Jackson Hayes is, right? So even if it's a small upgrade that doesn't cost you anything, go get it. Go do it, So anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you like the idea of bringing in Biz on a 10-day? Do you think, no, you should just sign him outright? Do you think, no, be patient, wait for somebody else? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate you all. See you in the next one. Thank you.